Experience for him, of course. So many times he has been here, but for his opposite number in the Wexford camp, John Myler, it's just his first championship season in charge. Donal O'Grady is alongside me here. Donal, you heard Michael there, Michael Dagnan on the panel, just offering the opinion that this Kilkenny team is not quite as strong as they have been used to. What's your view?
Well, my view, Ger, is very simple. I think Brian Cody feels that he doesn't need to have, 100% effort going here to be Wexford, and I think he's holding his big guns for the qualifiers and quarterfinals and semi-finals in All Ireland. I think that he did exactly the same thing last year. James Ryan only came back onto the team for the semi-final, and I think there's a way of keeping Kilkenny fresh, keeping the players under a little bit of pressure, not too much pressure, but under pressure of that they have to play well, that there's other fellas looking over the shoulder, and I think that's the way Brian Cody has operated down through the years, and I think that's what he's doing again this year.
Well, now the public address making the announcement, and Liam O'Neill, the chairman of the Leinster Council, on the right hand side alongside President McAleese. Right, so President McAleese then is coming across first of all to be introduced to the Wexford team and their captain Nigel Higgins, the Rathnew representative, county champions. She will know Damien Fitzhenry from Duffrey Rovers, I'm sure, making her way down along past Declan Ruth and the rest of the Wexford players on an afternoon where the Dublin Miners have beaten Kilkenny in the Leinster Minor Hurling Championship. They were very deserving victors as well, played some excellent hurling, and so they make further progress, and a great deal of the credit, I think, is due to many of the teachers, Common the Munskull teachers and the secondary school teachers as well, who have guided the Leinster champions now as they are over the last number of years. So the officials been introduced as well. Pat O'Connor is the referee, John Sexton and John Devlin are the linesmen. Tony Carroll is the fourth official, and of course the very important men who are in the white coats to make those key and vital confirmation decisions that it was a point or it wasn't a point. And Henry from Ballyhale Shamrocks, what a year he's had so far, introduces his men, the Leinster and the All-Ireland champions. The president, who has taken it upon herself, because she is a big sports fan, to go along to the provincial finals, the different provinces over the last number of years. We've seen her at Munster finals, Connaught finals, Ulster finals and at Leinster finals. And after the exhilaration of the Cork and Kerry match down in Killarney, where the players gave it absolutely everything, even though there is a backdoor system, let's hope the hurlers will do exactly the same now in the Leinster Championship.
So now everybody knows everybody, but we don't know who's going to win this match. For DJ Carey, what do you think?
Well, I think realistically, I think Kilkenny should do it. Obviously, I'm hoping they'll do it, but I couldn't see anyone but Kilkenny today.
For me, Michael Dagnan, it's either going to be a shock or a landslide. Would that be fair enough?
Well, and we've said this maybe over the last few years, but Kilkenny have won 8 in the last 9 Leinster finals, and it's turned into a bit of a joke as far as I'm concerned. We played massive Leinster finals in the 90s against Kilkenny, Wexford, Laois and Dublin were competitive, but we had great Leinster finals that meant the world to us. There were great occasions, massive matches. Some of the greatest matches played throughout the 90s were Leinster finals, and it's turned into a bit of a shambles. I think Kilkenny will win today, but I'm hoping for the sake of Leinster hurling that Wexford give it a good rattle. And to win a Leinster medal is a massive achievement, and let's hope Wexford play like that with that sort of passion. Kilkenny will, because Cody demands it. So let's hope Wexford can match that intensity and we have a good Leinster final.
Back to our commentary team here at Croke Park, and that is Ger Canning with Donal O'Grady.
Yes, we really are hoping that Leinster will produce us with a match of good quality this afternoon. It was interesting yesterday watching Dublin play against Cork. They weren't disgraced, but they still have several levels to move up, I think, before they will really seriously challenge, not just for Leinster, but for All Ireland honours. Pat O'Connor from Mahon in County Limerick is in charge, and before the action, there's the national anthem. It's Wexford who won the toss, and they will play from right to left in the first half. Kilkenny with a slight breeze at their backs. And the referee in having a chat with the 8s and the 9s, Cha Fitzpatrick and Diarmuid Ling, Michael Fennelly and Owen Quigley, the 2 9s. Everybody told to get back. They're already jostling. Oh, before they can even throw the ball in. Finally the ball is thrown in. A couple of them ignored it, and the 112th Leinster hurling final gets underway. And straight away it's an opportunity for Rory Jacob to set Wexford into the attack. Bit of defending to do. That spills away from Stephen Nolan. Comes back here. Tommy Welsh once again getting it up onto the stick. Bright sunlight overhead. We've had a couple of misty showers as well, as Keith Rossiter knocks it back for Wexford once again. Trying to set up an attack with their team captain Nigel Higgins, trying to get away from Jackie Tyrrell, trying to cut inside. Still Higgins trying to engineer a scoring opportunity, waiting for the referee's whistle. It comes, but it's a free against Wexford. The ball was handled on the ground.
And their chances that Wexford can't afford to spurn. You know, he should have kept going when he turned the first time, but you know, gave away a free and a chance for Kilkenny now to clear the lines. But I noticed, Jerry, even before the throw in there, that Kilkenny had all sorts of changes up in the forward line. Nearly everybody has played in a different position from those that were as they lined out in the programme.
And the 2 Wexford cornerbacks have switched positions as well. Paul Roach is now on the left-hand side, as that's taken by PJ Ryan, the Kilkenny goalkeeper. Knocked back again here. Doc O'Connor here, challenged by Brian Hogan, also challenged by JJ Delaney. Trying to make a little bit of headway, supported over there. Delaney lobbing it in there. Martin Comerford's come out, that's broken down there. Owen Reid trying to make some advances, taken instead by Malachi Travers, who now plays for Ballyboden St Enda's here in Dublin. Caught brilliantly there by Stephen Nolan from Faith Harriers. Pursued by Tommy Welsh, looking for the opening score, and he puts it over the bar. Stephen Nolan raises the first big cheer at Croke Park for the afternoon. And Wexford shoot into the lead here. Showed good pace, good control, and Tommy Walsh just couldn't get a hook on him. So a good start being made by the rank outsiders. That's back once again there by Diarmuid Ling. Noel Hickey protesting to the referee, and the referee sees indeed that there was a foul. Darren Stamp, the player who's been marked by Hickey this afternoon.
I have noticed, Jerry, I know there's only 2 or 3 minutes gone, but Wexford seem to be playing a little bit more on the ground than we've seen them previously, so maybe their plan is to move the ball as fast as they can and to, you know, isolate Kilkenny one-on-one and try and get through that way.
PJ Ryan from Fenians. Again, great distance, great length into it. Missed by the fullback, but support players coming in. Danger situation as Larkin's there. Henry Shefflin was there as well. In the end, it's Richie Keogh who gets it away. Not terribly far, however. Kilkenny struggling with that first touch to get the ball up. Player in question was Martin Comerford. Across once again. Keith Rossiter trying to get the ball away. Coming through here once again was Cha Fitzpatrick, supported there by Willie O'Dwyer. Oh, it's in the back of the net! Kilkenny crashed that ball into the back of the net here as Willie O'Dwyer from Mullinavat was coming through. Watch this one. Got a deflection, and Kilkenny lead.
Well, definitely deflection from Declan Root to knock that ball in. It might even be credited as an OG, but Wexford had chances to clear, and that's one thing they shouldn't have done. You know, early goals to Kilkenny, and Kilkenny will have their tails up for the next 5 minutes after that one.
Worst possible start then for Wexford once again, and indeed it looked to be Declan Ruth who did get a touch on that. But I think Willie O'Dwyer will take the credit, and when you consider that he's never scored a goal in the championship. John Myler, body blow, big time, right at the very beginning. And you remember the league semi-final in Thurles, when Kilkenny got 2 goals in the first couple of minutes and more or less set the seal on that as a competitive match. Owen Reid once again now here. A little hand pass back. Comes to Martin Comerford. That one was just gone to the right. No luck with the opening shot for the O'Loughlin Gales player. Had a terrific semi-final. Starting today, by the way, wearing the number 14 but playing at right half forward. Eddie Brennan is playing on the 40. Owen Larkin is left half forward. So lots and lots of changes, lots of switches. Nigel Higgins was trying to get that ball through, but it's stopped by Brian Hogan. Hogan back up once again towards Owen Reid. One-handed away by Paul Roach. Not with any great deal of length, however. Returned by Henry Shefflin, and the captain puts it almost nonchalantly over the bar. First score of the day for him. And Henry is playing at full forward. No proper clearing of the ball by the Wexford backs. And easy for Henry Shefflin. No great pressure on him. 1-1 to a point. Damien Fitzhenry. Owen Quigley trying to get some length into his drive out of midfield. Stagnant situation. Referee in the end decides to blow the game up. Will throw the ball in. Owen Quigley meeting that one.
I think that's an important point you made, Jar. I think that, you know, Wexford have given away now a goal and a point by just lack of composure in the defence. They had the balls, the defence had won it, and yet they turned them over to Kilkenny, and they can't afford that. And you know, they opened quite well the first 3 or 4 minutes, and then their lack of composure gifted Kilkenny a goal and a point that time.
You'd wonder whether the players deep down believe they can beat Kilkenny this afternoon. I know they want to. Malachy Travers. A little bit of fisticuffs going on off the ball as we watch Noel Hickey get that ball away under pressure. Comes up here only as far as Owen Quigley. Little hand pass back as far as Richie Keogh, the 21-year-old, playing at his second Leinster final, and he drives it over the bar. That's a great score by Richie Keogh. First ever score he's made in the championship, and it was from a fair old distance out. Just look at it, sail in towards Hill 16 and the Dunedin stand, and it's 1-1 to 2 points.
And the important thing there, Ger, was that he supported Owen Quigley very well. He came to the right position, held off, and when he got it, he had this time and space to have a shot, and he went for it. And you never fault a player if it goes wide. He went for it and he got it. Great point.
And the referee now has been told by the linesman what the linesman has seen. So there's a little chat involving Tommy Welsh and Stephen Nolan. And it's going to be a card apiece, I would think, at the end of all of this, considering the amount of time the referee is taking with the writing. So both players cautioned from a very early stage. Tommy Walsh deciding to discard the red helmet, which is very much his trademark in so many of the matches here at Croke Park. That's beautifully taken down by Eddie Brennan. Whipped away by Declan Ruth, wearing a white helmet this afternoon. He doesn't normally wear one. Comes back to Michael Fennelly here. Big, strong man, son of Michael Senior. One of the 7 brothers, and what a good advance he's made, and he puts it over the bar. Michael Fennelly. Very good movement. In fact, it's Brian Hogan, the other man with the blue helmet, who's got it. So credit the number 6. Very good score. 1-2 to 2 points. So a good counter-attack then by the champions.
And I noticed there for the Wexford puckouts, Kilkenny's half backline or half forward line are dropping way back into the middle of the field. They did that tactic in the semi-final and they played dividends, and up to now Damien Fitzhenry has been hitting long balls trying to find players in the middle of the field, and you know, longer ones right up to their own 20-metre line. So it'll be interesting to see, does he play any short ball, because Kilkenny cleaned Wexford out with this tactic in the league semi-final, and it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
Certainly will. Players are spilling to the right and to the left to try and take the puck out from him. Kilkenny goes straight down to the centre here, bounces off Stephen Nolan, added to by David Doc O'Connor. Coming into it here is Owen Quigley on his left-hand side. Quigley is a very good striker of the ball, puts this one between the posts. First of the day for the St. Martin's player. Held his composure well, aware that he could have been blocked off to the right, took it onto the left and had enough confidence in his striking ability to put it over the bar. So 2 points the margin. That goal, was it Willie O'Dwyer's or does it go down as a known goal? Irrespective, it's a Kilkenny score. Once again, it's Eddie Brennan popping up on the 40 this afternoon. JJ Delaney, big one in there towards Henry Shefflin. taking on Declan Ruth. They'll feel he has the beating of Ruth. After all, he is Player of the Year. Why not? Beautifully across, another goal! And this time, it's in the back of the net, and there is no doubt whatsoever about it. Watch it again as Henry Shefflin set it up here. Went this way and that past Ruth and buried by Willie O'Dwyer.
Well, a little bit of an experience from Declan Ruth here in that situation. He should have made sure that Henry was bodily checked, and simple pass and brilliant goal. But that was made from JJ Delaney's brilliant delivery into Henry Shefflin's space. It's
a good switch by Brian Cody and the selectors, and they come again with Martin Comerford this time. Oh, they're opening up alarming gaps, and O'Dwyer is in again for another score, this time a point. 2 goals and a point have come from his attack so far. Excellent play here. Martin Comerford opening up alarming gaps, and a very good angle shot by O'Dwyer. Well, in the past, Willie O'Dwyer would be admired for the amount of industry that he does out there, the challenges, the hard tackles that he puts in, the running game that he's involved in. But today he's turned up trumps as a scorer, and Kilkenny have the line ball here. Somehow, Donald, I feel I've seen all this before.
Well, that's the start that Wexford didn't want. You know, you wanted to go in 20 minutes, 25 minutes where Wexford, or where Kilkenny were being denied goals, and that they were, you know, maybe that confidence would have a little bit, and that you'd bring it down to a man-on-man and hard, tough hurling. But now they've, 10 minutes gone and they're 6 points up.
Tommy Welch into space. They still try to win possession, and the referee will have to defuse this very quickly, because Henry Shefflin got very, very, very angry with Declan Ruth as his marker, and angry gestures being exchanged, and Pat O'Connor from Mahon is in immediately here, just to put a halt to it and bring about a degree of common sense.
Well, I'm not quite sure what happened there, but I think Owen Quigley went in and gave Henry Shefflin a shoulder, which knocked him into someone else. We'd see it here now on screen.
May have been Malachi Travers. Yeah. The number 4 was the player who was the target of his anger. So at the end of it all, and the referee's also speaking with Declan Ruth. Now, how many cards is he going to issue here? He's also calling back Malachi Travers. Hadn't finished with the cards just yet. So it'll be 2 Wexford players, 1 from Kilkenny, just in this little altercation. And a card flashed in the direction of 3 players. So already in this match we've had a total of 5 yellow cards. And the game's only 13 minutes old, and Keith Rossiter has it and loses it very, very easily. Again, a pile-up of bodies. Willie O'Dwyer's trying to get there, but it's Rossiter, and it's also Richie Keogh. Away by Declan Ruth. And again, the hurleys go in, and the shoulders and the elbows. And there is a nasty edge. This is where Richie Keogh got himself caught in a little cul-de-sac from which there was no exit. Free to Wexford. Keogh the taker. Big long one down in the direction of Nigel Higgins. Doesn't come up for him. In the end, it's Darren Stamp from the angle, and Darren Stamp, the umpires decide eventually that it's wide. I'm not too sure the umpires were absolutely convinced. The Wexford players were, and they went to the 2 umpires and made up their mind.
Well, the umpire on the left-hand side from Eger seemed to be moving towards the flag as if it was a score, and then suddenly he looked across and waved wide when his compatriot on the other side maybe gestured to him that it was wide.
Well, we're watching Willie Doran from Buffers Alley come into the match in the 14th, 15th minute. And Declan Ruth is the player who's been taken off, as that shot comes in from a considerable distance out, but goes to the left of the target and just goes wide. So 2-3 to 5 points, just over 14 minutes gone in the game. Good start by the champions as per usual, and Wexford having a battle on their hands right from the outset, and a huge battle at that. And one change in personnel made already, as I say. Declan Ruth off, Willie Doran is in. And a very nonplussed Brian Cody, making sure that his team is as effective, as ruthless and as brilliant as ever. Nicely picked up once again here, this time by Owen Larkin, and it's over the bar by Larkin. Great score. The shooting is so precise. There's an expectation that they're going to get these chances, and when they do, they just knock them over the bar time and again. Breaks down towards Owen Quigley. Lobbed in there towards Darren Stamp. Contesting, Stamp is doing really well, holding on to this one over his left shoulder, but he's put it wide. He's a good player for catching a ball. He's also got a very good leap in the air from a standing position, but he needs the ammunition fired down in his direction. This was his shot under some pressure. Back's doing really well, not making it easy for him. Martin Comerford drops it down. It's picked up by Diarmuid Ling. Out as far as the substitute, Willie Doran. Caught, however, by Tommy Welsh. Returned once again, and that's Joe Fitzpatrick, who was pushed in the back as he was hitting it, and the ball has gone to the left and wide. He could have easily have got a free from the 20-metre line for that.
Which that contrast to play for me. You know, Willie Doran got a good ball and hit it straight up to Tommy Walsh, and next minute, you know, Kilkenny have another good chance. Wexford have to play with a bit more. They're not supporting their players in possession. We saw Darren Stamp get the ball there where to go. No one came in to take it from him, whereas Kilkenny are playing it with 2 or 3s, contesting the ball, looking for support, looking for the extra man the whole time.
Tommy Welsh looking for Willie O'Dwyer, is playing at top of the left. Out it comes here as far as the diminutive Nigel Higgins, and Higgins hits that one in some degree of haste and puts it away to the left-hand side, and they look a bit dispirited. Need a goal just to rekindle their sense of purpose again. PJ Ryan playing in his first Leinster final this afternoon, his 3rd championship match. Martin Comerford at this stage. Willie O'Dwyer enjoying a bumper day, and underlining that with another score. It's 2 goals and 2 points now for Willie O'Dwyer. He'll take the credit for the first goal, you can be certain. The pass was precise from Martin Comerford, and O'Dwyer didn't need any time about it, instinctively found the range.
Yeah, Harley looked really just over the shoulder, but a good pass again from Martin Comerford. But the Wexford players will have to tighten up. Can the player give a player of Kilkenny a good forward like Willie Dwyer a yard space as they have given him?
That was brilliantly taken by Brian Hogan, who did get a point earlier on. I credited it to Michael Fennelly initially, but it was another man with the blue helmet, Brian Hogan. Watch him here, going backwards, takes it, stumbles, collides with another player. And this is the end result. He's settling in really well at number 6. And it's painful. And it's painful for John Myler as well, who's been a Cork selector in the past. And he has had a very interesting career in sport. Sports fanatic, John, and the family steeped in swimming, his wife and the children, all champion swimmers. And this man's always been a champion. Brian Cody. He'll be anxious to make sure that his young centre-half is okay, able to continue. Thrown in. Doc O'Connor trying to make it his, and in the end that ball is hit in by the midfielder Diarmuid Ling, and he's hit it to the right of the target. They're just hitting. It's a hit and hope situation. The players that Kilkenny have got are such class players. When they strike it, there's a 2 and 3 chance that it's going to go over the bar. That's dropped down there by Michael Jacob. The Jacobs haven't had a chance to get going in this match just yet. Willie Doran. Chance now to settle as Willie Doran placed that ball down, intended for Darren Stamp. Picked up, however, and recovered once again by Noel Hickey, dropping it away up towards Martin Comerford. Comes back out towards Diarmuid Ling. Back in once again, batted out once again, this time by Jackie Tyrrell. Recovered here by Michael Jacob, taking on JJ Delaney. Going for a little solo. Then a miss hit completely, and a gift to Tommy Welsh. onto his left-hand side, partial block on it, gets it into the middle of the park. Owen Quigley rising up for it for Wexford, but it spills loose once again, and Eddie Brennan used to be out on the wing playing on the 40 today. Henry Shefflin can't quite take it initially, and Wexford have a chance to get possession back through Kieran Kenny from Buffer's Alley. Big one down, challenging for it there was Stephen Nolan, a big man, won by Rory Jacob. Back out once again to Diarmuid Ling. Is it on target this time? And again, they are just throwing away these opportunities. 5 wides for Wexford so far after only 20 minutes of play, and only 3 points on the scoreboard, and Kilkenny with a handsome lead.
And if you cast your mind back, Ger, to 2004 when Wexford beat Kilkenny in the semi-final, what they did was every ball they got, they slipped it in low into the corners, pulled the Kilkenny defence around, and minimised the wides and minimised these Hail Mary shots that they're taking now. This would have been a sort of a trademark of all Wexford teams, hitting the ball in hope, and they'd be far better off if they tried to get the ball into the corners, got the Jacobs moving, get Nigel Higgins trying to get onto the ball, and bit by bit hold possession. All you're doing is you're affecting a 100-yard clearance for Kilkenny to set up a new attack when you hit wides like that.
They're basically, Donald, just not feeding the inside forward line.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Jared, if you're playing Kilkenny, hitting hope balls, nothing a defender likes better than see the ball going, aimlessly wide, because he knows his keeper is going to direct it down and attack. Kilkenny have Martin coming for the right half forward, principally for winning primary possession from puck-outs.
Well, the referee had words there with Eddie Brennan and with Willie Doran, who's marking him at centre half back, in a switch with Keith Rossiter, which was made when Declan Ruth went off. Rossiter is back at full back. Kilkenny are back in possession with Owen Reid. More primary ball inside required, and this time Richie Keogh almost picking it off the ground. It's one in the end here by Owen Quigley, eluding Eddie Brennan, lobbing it back down, but straight towards Jackie Turrell's corner, holding off the challenge there of Nigel Higgins. Little contest for it in the centre of the park. Sun going in behind the clouds. They have mixed weather available here in the Dublin area. Keith Rossiter coming out, keeping it away from Owen Reid. Back out as far as Richie Keogh. Good call here, taken smartly by Jackie Tyrrell, the James Stephens player, holding it away from the attention of Michael Jacob. Taken in his stride by Keith Rossiter. Back out, and nicely held on this time by Stephen Nolan. Chance now to set up an attack, if it's a good ball, and it is this time, to Rory Jacob. Jacob looking for a support player. The Doc's available. Doc O'Connor into space. Stephen Nolan's kept going. About to be confronted by a couple of Kilkenny players. Make that 3 and 4 at this stage. Nobody able to get it. Tommy Walsh is in the thick of the action. They wait for it. It comes out as far as Noel Hickey. And Noel Hickey, cool as you like, calmly out into the middle of the park. And Wexford with their last score in the 9th minute through Owen Quigley. And we're now in the 23rd. It's kept in play by Owen Reid. Keeping it away from Paul Roach. Big day for Owen Reid, only his 2nd championship match. Here's Owen Larkin, back towards the captain, and that one has gone sailing to the left this time. Henry Shefflin, all this while spending his day at full forward. There it is again. You'd be disappointed that he put it wide on the left-hand side of the post.
Yeah, good chance for Henry, and well wide that time, but the previous run by Nolan from Wexford, running into a cul-de-sac, 5 Kilkenny players around him and no support from Wexford.
They need a couple of scores and a couple of goals quickly. Tall order against that mean Kilkenny defence, refusing to yield an inch. Great unit normally, and struck away out of danger this time by Michael Kavanagh. Out to the middle of the park. Michael Fennelly letting it run on here towards Owen Reid. Looking at the target, nobody near him. And that's a bad miss by Owen Reid. 5 wides now for Kilkenny as well. The game somewhat ragged.
Yeah, excellent tackle by Henry Shefflin there on Keith Rossiter. Let the ball run on, and a little bit of experience by Owen Reid. He could have turned and ran with that ball, got himself a bit of balance and knocked it over, but elected to shoot on the turn and hit it wide.
Recovered here again by Diarmuid Ling. Cross towards Nigel Higgins. JJ Delaney is the nearest Kilkenny player to him. Came off Jackie Tyrrell that time. Trying to get it up onto the stick there. Comes out, stalemate, won again by Brian Hogan. And Hogan belts it down into the inside forward line, who've come out around the half line. Here's Malachi Travers, left there for Eddie Brennan to take. Swiftly back in towards a two-man inside forward line. Henry Shefflin's there, Owen Reid's there as well. So too is Keith Rossiter, and the referee says, bit of holding, free out to Wexford. 25 minutes are gone, 2-5 to 3 points.
Well, Keith Rossiter's doing quite well on Henry Shefflin since he went back from centre-back. He has a little taste and just got in front from there and made sure that he won the ball. And Henry little tug and free out for Keith. But definitely that has made an improvement in the Wexford defence.
Well, those 2 goals have certainly given Kilkenny a fair old platform, but they're doing well in most areas of the field. As we watch this one sail over the bar, Rory Jacob getting his first score. It's taken nearly 26 minutes. It's Wexford's 4th. Getting it onto his stick, keeping it away from Michael Kavanagh, and straight over the bar. Well, that's the first score made by anybody from the inside forward line, consisting of Nigel Higgins, Darren Stamp and Rory Jacob. Eddie Brennan fouled.
And that's the one thing you don't want to do, Jerry. You know, you just got a good score out of nothing, and then you turn around and you give away a free. Eddie Brennan getting good possession there from the puck out, and has been doing well in those circumstances. And you know, the last thing you do, make him shoot anyway. I mean, you know, this is just target practice for Henry Shefflin. He'll definitely get this.
Well, if he does, it will be Kilkenny's first point from a free in this match. And he's put it wide. Dear oh dear. On another day, you never know, but they are 2 goals and a point ahead from the reverse angle. Came up well for him, just misdirected. Not a hell of a lot of breeze around. And from the resultant puck out, Henry has it again, and a chance to make amends, which he more than makes amends. Wonderful competitor that he is, Henry Shefflin. Will have been annoyed by the miss free, but back into play, keeps it well away from all the opponents, and notches his 2nd score of the day.
Great skill there, Jaron. And you know, cream blackbirds or white blackbirds missing a free almost straight in front of the goal, and then doing the almost impossible, you know, keeping the ball in the hurley and knocking it over. Great score.
Here's Michael Fennelly. Up towards Henry Shefflin again. This time it's Keith Rossiter who gets there first, needs his goalkeeper. Damien Fitzhenry beaten twice already. Highly significant goals from his team's point of view. And it's back with the Cats once again. And it's back with Eddie Brennan. Dodges around Kieran Kenny. Has a support player. It's Martin Comerford off his left. Struck beautifully over the bar. First score today made by Martin Comerford, but he's made a couple of scores for others. And this time, the score made for him by Eddie Brennan. Lovely release, great teamwork, and he's good off his right, he's good off his left as well. 2-7 after 28 minutes of play. It's a very good score from Kilkenny's point of view, highly ominous for the opponents from Wexford. Tommy Walsh once more. Again, quick as you like, putting the pressure on. This time Paul Roach playing at left corner back. Gets it back down into the middle of the park. Broken out by Brian Hogan. A race for possession here involving Richie Keogh and also Owen Larkin. Down in there should be the fullbacks, and is good covering by Noel Hickey. Comes right across the line, aware of the presence there of Darren Stamp. Support player here is Michael Kavanagh. Back once again towards Noel Hickey, and the Donegal player wallops it down in the direction of Willie O'Dwyer. Keeps it moving inside. Owen Reid been asked to do quite a bit here, however, and Paul Roach has it. Wasn't the greatest of balls across. Owen Larkin. Partial block on it. Came nonetheless to Stephen Nolan. Again, it is Brian Hogan who's trying to get that ball away. Back in by Diarmuid Ling for Wexford. Didn't make much headway. Quite a battle in the centre of the park. Again, it is Owen Larkin who's discarded the red or the green helmet. Rossiter is under pressure. Willie O'Dwyer was coming in, and the referee has blown his whistle. And again, the signal is a free in the direction of the Wexford goal. This was the pull here by Keith Rossiter, and the drag back in the end. That's where the referee blew his whistle.
Well, if you could describe giving a good foul away, Gerard, that was the time to give a good foul away, because if that ball had gone on, Willie Dwyer was in for a certain, goal chance again. I can't say certainties anymore after Henry missed the last free, so he should get this.
I think you could be fairly certain he will. There he is. First pointed free of the game, credited to Henry Shefflin from Ballyhale Shamrocks. He makes it 2 goals and 8 points to 4 points. And it is all looking routinely easy for the champions. People will say, well, what a shame that Leinster isn't more competitive, and I'm sure people in Kilkenny will say, oh well, we're getting a tough match and we'll only just win it by whatever it is, 8-9 points. The fact of the matter is, Kilkenny can't drop their standards. We want their standards to stay up there where they are, very high. We need everybody else to come up as well, unfortunately.
Well, that's the point, Ger, because you can't blame Kilkenny for being an excellent team. I mean, you'd have to look at the other counties and see, they should be competitive. But the thing that surprised me about Wexford, from the start, they played, a straight 15-man versus 15-man game, and I think it was essential for them to make sure to go the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes without conceding any goals. And Offaly played a tactic of playing an extra man back in defence for the first half, and they did quite well. Okay, they were overrun in the second half, but I felt that Wexford might have been better off condensing all the play back and blanket defence, if you were, but to make sure that they discomforted Kilkenny somewhere, but played an open game, and Kilkenny are 10 points up after 30 minutes.
Well, the fans are enjoying the camera being thrust in their direction for a little while. Meanwhile, the camera now following Nigel Higgins trying to win possession, then losing it very easily to the very busy Michael Fennelly. Real warrior in the centre of the park. This time the referee blowing against his team.
Blows for overcarrying, Gerard, and a little bit harsh, I think, there. I mean, he was stumbling to get up, possibly took the fourth step the second time, and correct decision by Pat O'Connor.
So this time it's Stephen Nolan. Point already from play in this match, and that has gone over the bar for his second point. Another for Wexford, but it's only a fifth. There it is again. Good shooting style. Looked very confident. Pressure back on his team once again as Keith Rossiter was being held back by Henry Shefflin. And there's a free to Kilkenny, or free to Wexford rather. And for not moving back quickly enough, it seems the referee has penalised Kilkenny another 13 metres. So chance for Paul Roach to launch this one in. How they could do with a goal before half-time. It's going all the way. Is it to the right? It is.
Well, that's the last thing you want, Jerry, to drop at the edge of the square or, out to the wings and try and bring the forwards into it. They didn't need a wide like that. No, he went far, I suppose you couldn't blame him, and it just drifted off at the very last second.
Not everybody is a Shawnee McMahon of County Clare. Touchdown by Diarmuid Ling, but recovered and won by James Cha Fitzpatrick in towards Henry Shefflin. That's a quality ball, and that is a great score. A fourth point for Henry, but the difference between the teams, the way in which the two forward lines approach forward play. Cha Fitzpatrick winning primary possession in the middle, the low ball giving Henry a chance, and Henry does the rest. 2-9-5.
Yeah, that's the difference. The Wexford backs are giving Kilkenny maybe 2 yards of space. The Wexford forwards are losing out in the 50-50 battles to the Kilkenny defence, and thereby, when you're behind like that, it's kind of desperation tactics, and you lose your composure a little bit, and that's what's happening Wexford at the moment.
They are behind by 10 points. Stephen Nolan advancing to try and eat into the lead, and that's another one gone astray. Oh, a forgettable day for some of them in Croke Park, but there is still chance for something of a recovery. 2 minutes of additional time will be played. This puck out heading towards Kilkenny's Owen Larkin once again, and Larkin lets fly. Beautiful strike by the 23-year-old Army man. Another point for him, another for his team, and they will feel that the job is more than half done at this stage, even though we haven't even reached the halfway point of this year's Leinster final. Again, some stalemate with Nigel Higgins trying to keep it on the ground and make some advances, but Kilkenny win it back again. Good combined play. They just blot out the opposition. Tommy Walsh lobbing it forward towards Owen Reid. Little race across here involving Willie Doran, the Wexford substitute, beaten. It's Reid again, and his strike again going to the left-hand side, and not for the first time. He's just inaccurate with his finishing. He could do with a score just to boost his self-belief in this Leinster final.
Yeah, we saw the space in front of the Kilkenny forwards there. You know, a minute ago, Wexford in attack, and there was something like 12-14 players in a very little area, and that's the difference between the teams.
Owen Quigley, son John, one of the great Quigley family of yesteryear. Nutting this one across, chance, saved well by PJ Ryan. It was an opportunity. Rory Jacob was coming onto it. Back once again. Michael Jacob trying to make it his. Willie O'Dwyer down there as well, doing the spade work, getting it back as far as Owen Larkin. Returned once again with interest into the inside forward line. Beyond Owen Reid this time. Waiting for Keith Rossiter to come across, clear the line for Wexford. Another minute of stoppage time to be played as Stephen Nolan has it again, loses it easily. Diarmuid Ling. A lot of elementary mistakes made by Wexford in this first half. Darren Stamp out around the half line at this stage, and Darren Stamp has enough latitude and enough direction with that to get another score for his team, his first of the day. Coming close to the break, it's 2-10 to 6 points, and the Wexford fans continue to live in hope. They come here in their thousands every year on something of a pilgrimage, coming to Croke Park, hoping it'll be their day.
Well, good point by Darren Stamp that time, and he has moved out centre forward for the last minute or so, and Doc O'Connor's gone to full forward. But you know, unless Wexford change their tactics, unless they engage a bit more in the short ball, pull the Kilkenny defence wide, you know, they're going to be well beaten here, and that's the only chance they have. When you keep it straight up the middle, keep the bunching going, that'll suit the Kilkenny defenders.
PJ Ryan up towards Martin Comerford. It's a great puck out, it's a great catch. Here comes Comerford, aware that he was not going to be hooped, went for the score himself. He's got another 2 for the first half for Martin Comerford, straight from the puck out. That was really, really well directed into his left paw, onto his right side. He can hit it from the right, he can hit it from the left. He's deadly accurate. 2-11 to 6 points. Which gear are Kilkenny in, would you say, Donald?
Well, I think they're playing about, you know, 75 pace, nice and comfortable, moving the ball around, and not under any great threat from Wexford.
Now that's Kieran Kenny driving another one outside and wide. 8 wides in all in this first half for the Slaney Siders. Can they do better in the second half? They'll have to if they're going to have any chance whatsoever. It's a huge tall order for them because Henry Shefflin and his team have settled down into business, got goals from Willie O'Dwyer, one which went off Declan Ruth and might have been credited as an own goal. There was a second 8 minutes later by Dwyer again. No dispute about this one, no dispute about the quality of the Kilkenny play during the first half, and at half time they lead by 2 goals and 11 points to 6 points. We'll have some analysis and discussion right after this break.
Here at Croke Park, it's half-time in the Leinster hurling final between Kilkenny and Wexford. Kilkenny, as you can see there, leading Wexford. It's 2-11 to 6 points. A look at the stats there. It says that Wexford had 49% of the play. I didn't see it, to be honest with you, but anyway, that's what it says in the stats. 6 scores then from 15 chances for Wexford and 13 scores for Kilkenny from their 20 chances. Disappointing, you know, when their manager John Myler puts so much effort, as he has done, and it just kind of doesn't happen for you, I suppose, on the day.
Well, John Myler has put in a big effort, but these Wexford guys have put in a huge effort as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's not from lack of effort up to the day. They haven't produced it, they haven't done it. It's a very poor performance. I'm sure they're not as poor as that, but it is a poor performance.
They're ready to go for the second half. Back to the commentary box again. Ger Canning, Donald O'Grady.
Two changes, Michael, both made by Wexford. Barry Lambert's on, Rory McCarthy's on. Michael Jacobs off. I think Nigel Higgins is the other player who's got off. And the second half is underway. And there is this huge task in front of Wexford. If they can manage to eat into the Kilkenny lead and establish any kind of rhythm at all, you never know. You have to live in hope when you're into sport.
And the first thing, Gerard, that must be done is that Wexford, you know, they can't afford to give away frees like they gave there. Owen Quigley just taking a silly pull across one of the Kilkenny midfielders, and chance now for Cha Fitzpatrick to stick it straight over the bar.
So Cha giving it loads of accuracy, calm as you like, and as Donald O'Grady says, you just can't do that, not with Kilkenny around. We saw it yesterday, Cork penalising every indiscretion by Dublin, and it's done today by Kilkenny. Not surprisingly, they've been the All-Ireland champions for the last couple of years, Kilkenny and Cork. It's the standard the others have to aspire to. Big ask. This is Owen Reid, hasn't scored in the match so far, at a couple of wides. That's a fair old effort from a huge distance out, and Martin Comerford has got a third. There it is, out onto the wing he was there, huge distance out. As you can see, the mist is now gently dropping down onto Croke Park. Surface is good, haven't heard any complaints whatsoever about it this year. Returned once again by Noel Hickey. And there's a little bit of dragging, which the referee is penalised. This time the guilty party is Willie Doran. And the referee isn't quite ready yet with the attention he plans to give to Willie Doran. He wants to call him back, I think. He's already ticked him. Chances are there might be a card.
Well, there wasn't much involved there. I think he just pushed Eddie Brennan with the hurley as the ball's going over his head. But again, a needless free, you know, hugely advantageous position. Henry Shefflin out about, you know, 60 metres straight in front of the goal now. Normally he'd put these over. Little innocuous sort of a push, no need for it. And, you know, another chance for Kilkenny.
And for Henry. And the lead just mounts up.
Simple chance, Gerard, and Wexford have to cut out that type of fouling, you know. I mean, you know, you can see it there from the angle from behind the goal, straight in front of the goal, 60 metres out, and, you know, Sheffield is normally deadly with these.
The attendance, by the way, this afternoon, 34,872. As the public address announces the changes that have been made. Rory Jacob playing the ball in. Doc O'Connor trying to feed it inside, but it's recovered by JJ Delaney. Down towards Eddie Brennan, trying to get a stick to that one. He does well to dispossess the Wexford opponent. Kept moving. Comes back out again here to Cha Fitzpatrick. Again, the little clever ball inside, but this time seized on by Paul Roach. The hand passes straight to Henry Shefflin, in to intervene and to penalise a third mistake made by a Wexford player at the start of the second half, which is only 3.5 minutes old, and they've got 3 points. It's Wexford who need the scores, and it's Kilkenny who are getting them instead.
Yeah, suicide pass out there, and Shefflin, you know, all the experience waiting for it, and stuck it straight over the bar.
Good catch again by Michael Fennelly. Keith Rossiter tapping it back. Contesting that one there is Barry Lambert, man who broke the Dublin Hearts in the semi-final with that last second free that went over the bar. Mind you, had scored 4 points in all in the contest. That's Jim Ling, who's now at left half back. Kieran Kenny's got a midfield. Doc O'Connor is in at full forward. That's batted down. Picking it up, Brian Hogan. And Brian Hogan looks a commanding figure. Down it goes. Keith Rossiter got there first, playing his heart out. And they need a few more like him. Again, they have to be disciplined. This time the foul is against Kilkenny's Martin Comerford. Well, not an awful lot in that.
Well, I think he just gave him a little tug after the tackle.
Out it comes once again to Cha Fitzpatrick. Working hard, back on his own 20-metre line. Diarmuid Ling, wearing number 8, playing in the left half-back position. Went off him. unless it had gone out of play first time, which it had. Game lacking atmosphere. That's because of the vast superiority of the champions.
Well, I suppose Kilkenny got to start that. Wexford needed 3 points, reeled off in a few minutes, but you know, there's no intensity to Wexford's game. I mean, you would think that at least they'll be contesting things, you know, throwing their heart and soul into it and trying to, you know, contest things with the Kilkenny half-back line, put them under pressure. But you know, Kilkenny are dictating the whole pace. It's a half-paced game now, and this will suit Kilkenny, and they'll run out from here.
Kieran Kenny made a wonderful connection, but there wasn't enough direction on it. Well, he's a nephew of Pat Kenny, who was the captain of Buffers Alley when they won the All-Ireland Club Championship back in 1989. Seem to remember they beat O'Donovan Rossa from Belfast that afternoon here at Croke Park. Buck out. Under it there, Richie Keogh. Oh, Malachi Travers was being held. Michael Fennelly arguing the point.
Hard to know, Jeff, for just to at least keep it in play. If it doesn't go over the bar, at least drop it in and hope for the best. You know, that last sideline puck looks very good, but you know, goes wide. It's a 90-yard, 100-yard clearance for Kilkenny again. So be important to drop it in. Doc O'Connor's on the edge of the square, and hopefully he might scramble goal from it.
Richie Keogh hitting it, and Richie Keogh has it perfectly delivered for his second point. So it's Wexford's first score of the second half, and that's taken 6.5 minutes to produce. Meanwhile, they allowed Kilkenny to get back into their usual rhythm once again. Kilkenny at their dominant best once more. Here they come forward. Martin Comerford on a mazy run. Partial block, but he still got enough purchase on that one and enough direction to notch a 4th point and a second for the second half.
Yeah, Martin Comerford came onto the ball well there. He missed the initial puck out, but kept on moving, and the ball was just transferred through to him by Owen Reid, and you know, knock it over the bar with a simple score.
Others may wonder what keeps Kilkenny going, what drives them on, even when they are in such almost invincible situations, which they are. Darren Stamp, this is outside for Lambert, and they converged on him and made it impossible to get a shot in. Barry Lambert cursing his luck. The little ball fed ahead to him here. Tight enough angle, but look at the sheer determination and conviction of the backs to make sure they were going to get nothing cheaply. And coming across Jackie Tyrrell, and there was support there as well from JJ Delaney.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good chance for Barry Lambert, but he needed to hit it a little bit earlier. He tried to walk into net that time, and you know, he should have hit it before Jackie Tyrrell made the intervention. But Wexford needs scores like that, even to tap them over the bar, give themselves any sort of a self-belief. But they're playing at half pace, and Joe, when you look at the game, you know, can you remember any tackle being made, any shoulder to shoulder or whatever else? And that's what brings the intensity, and Wexford are providing that. And you know, Kilkenny are virtually doing what they like.
I'm sure the players must have said to themselves coming up in the second half, come on, let's win the second half at least. Okay, they're 11 behind at half time, and now the margin has swanned out quite a bit. There we go.
Yeah, another free on Chaffet's Partick. Simple, you know, this is going to land at the edge of the square. Shefflin might catch it and end up getting another score. You know, you need to be resolute. You can't be giving away frees like this.
Well, Wexford have made 3 switches already. They're considering a 4th at this point. Owen Reid is considering that it's about time he got possession and had a chance. The referee will throw the ball in there tussling with Paul Roach. And while we watch that, number 23, Pierce White, is about to come into the action. There he is. So Kieran Kenny started at left half, then moved to midfield, and now he's gone off the team. Barry Lambert. Good run by Lambert, showing a bit of initiative and drive and determination. Likewise, PJ Ryan, out as far as Michael Kavanagh. Clever ball down towards Martin Comerford. Takes up great positions, works tirelessly on behalf of the team. Enterprising ball down towards Owen Reid, but it's won by Diarmuid Ling again. The left half links up with Paul Roach. But the wayward clearance once again goes straight to a Kilkenny player, to JJ Delaney. Got a point against Offaly. Fancy his chances again here, but that one is just misdirected. Even when they get possession and work hard in their own half-back line, they give it away straight to JJ Delaney, and it's just shooting practice.
And he may have been better, Gerard, to land that in at the edge of the square, because Henry Shefflin made a 35-yard run to get in the end of it, and a little bit of waste from DJ. But when you're 15 points up, you're going to have a little bit of target practice. JJ might like to get his name on the score sheet.
James Ryle is the next one to come on. Kilkenny's first change, getting a huge cheer. James coming on for his 19th championship match, and Tommy Walsh is the one who's making way. And listen to the roar of approval from the Kilkenny followers. He's a player they just love, Tommy Walsh.
And last year, I think, when James Ryle came on their team for the semi-final against Clare, he made a huge impression, and he tightened up the defence big time, and was hugely influential in their all-round victory against Cork.
I guess he'd be on most inter-county teams, wouldn't he, James Ryle? But the competition in Kilkenny is huge.
And I wouldn't bet you that he won't be there for the first Sunday of September either.
John Myler hopes his team can make some advances. It's looking like the qualifiers, well, not the qualifiers rather, in this case it'll be the quarterfinals, of course. Henry Shefflin shooting. Another for Henry Shefflin. 2 goals and 17 points to 7 points. Henry just nipping in here. The marking is non-existent. Sean Fitzpatrick whipping on it. Coming here is Michael Fennelly. Lobbed back in. Little hopeful one. Paul Roach coming, taking, driving it down towards Rory Jacob. Lost by Michael Kavanagh, and Jacob getting in quickly, showing a fair old turn of pace. Looking for a support player. Didn't need it. The angle was an impossible one, and Rory Jacob has got another chance and another score.
And that was a good run by Jacob, and I think that's the only way that Wexford should have been doing this from the beginning, trying to run at Jackie Turtle and Michael Kavanagh in defence, but probably they didn't get the ball into the corners, and points at this stage, they look good, but they're not going to make any difference to Wexford in the long run.
Here's Willie O'Dwyer. 2 goals and 2 points from the first half. Keith Rossiter coming out. This time it's taken here by Willie Doran. Again, Rory Jacob linking up with a support player. And to the left it's gone once again off Pierce White's drive from the centre of the park. First taste of the action in the championship here.
Well, at this stage, Ger, every ball Wexford get out around the middle of the field, it should try and play somebody in front. If they really want to win the game, they should be placing in the 14 and at least try and discomfort Kilkenny somewhere, get a goal or two, and maybe give themselves an extra bit of heart. Because at the moment, shooting for long range points from out the field isn't going to make any appreciable difference to them.
Notebook shown once again. Kilkenny's number 19 is being prepared, and that gives a chance for John Dalton to come into the action. There he is, the man with the green helmet, normally a wing back. So another man with the green helmet, centre of the picture, and that is Henry Shefflin. That is his 8th point of the afternoon. 218 to 8 points. They have crushed some teams in Croke Park in recent years. We think of the 31-point trouncing of Offaly a few years ago, and they are trouncing Wexford this afternoon. And JJ Delaney is now after making way, and John Dalton, the player, has come on. When you look through the Kilkenny subs, as we did before the match, there's almost a second team there. In fact, there is a second team there, really. And a good one. Sean Fitzpatrick. Keith Rossiter contesting with Martin Comerford. Spills to Richie Cow instead. Trying to get away from the challenges is Willie Doran. Diarmuid Ling. Owen Quigley. Point in the first half. Back to Ling once again. Lobbing it in towards Darren Stamp. Unable to hold it. Comes out towards Brian Hogan. Supported here by Noel Hickey. Hickey, hands and knees. Oh, Darren Stamp was using his fist. The referee in the end gives the free to Wexford. Here it is again, intense pressure. Noel Higgins on the ground, handled the ball on the ground.
Well, maybe a little bit of charity there from Tal O'Connor, you know. That could have gone either way. I think Noel Hickey might have been fouled earlier on, but Wexford get the free and, you know, probably will have to go for a goal from this position.
So PJ Ryan is poised. It's going to be Stephen Nolan who will take it. Having a go, letting fly, and a great save by PJ Ryan from Fenians in Johnstown. Out it comes once again, however, as far as one of the substitutes, Mitch Jordan, has just come on. This time it's Darren Stamp. Batted out by James Ryle. Michael Kavanagh now trying to nurse it away from goal, prodded back in once again. And that time it's Jackie Tyrrell who's on his hands and knees. Quick recovery, free out to Kilkenny. This here once again, the goalkeeper, a flashing save there as it came towards him, did really well. Well, at this point, I think Wexford must have used all of their substitutes. I think that is their fifth. Doc O'Connor, the one who made way for Mitch Jordan. So early in the second half, only 16 minutes into the second half, as we watch Owen Quigley. One of those days when it just did not go right for Wexford. Players didn't play up to expectation. Kilkenny just too powerful, overwhelming, and John Tennyson is now going to get his chance. And this is Brian Cody really using his bench. It's one of those days when he certainly can afford to do so. And going off is Brian Hogan. What a job the half-back line did. They've all been replaced. Under normal circumstances that would be an indictment, but today it's just an acceptance and acknowledgement of the fact that they are vastly superior. Michael Fennelly with that last shot. Job well done by Brian Cody yet again. Michael Fennelly. This time it's Richie Keogh. Quigley once again. Angling this one across, trying to put a little bit of pressure on in there. They succeed as well with Stephen Nolan. Nolan, and that's a penalty the referee has decided, I think, is it? He was indicating with his hands outstretched. Not quite sure if he had reached the large rectangle when he was actually fouled. So he's certainly outside it at this stage here.
Yeah, I don't think so. And he got a little clip from Noel Hickey, I think. I think that's the reason the free came across him, yeah. And just outside the large rectangle, so it will be an ordinary 21-yard free. But better chance for Stephen Nolan this time. The last shot he took was from an angle, and it's much easier to save those ones. He'll go for this certainly again.
Yeah, the referee had stretched his hands out indicating a penalty, but it was just for a straightforward conventional free, but from the 20-metre line. So once again, Stephen Nolan, as Donald says, called into action. They're ready. Will Wexford be rewarded in the 55th minute? PJ Ryan outstanding out there in front of the other 5 defenders. Nolan coming, striking and scoring. If at first you don't succeed, you know what? Keep on going. He did, and this time it just got through. In spite of the best efforts of PJ Ryan and the rest. Had enough pace, Goalkeeper might have just got a foot to it.
Well, a powerful shot, Gerard. Great shot down low. PJ Ryan was about a metre or two off the line, and once was struck as powerfully as that, great score. And the last one was hit very well as well, of course. So, fully deserving of that, Stephen Nolan. Probably the best of the Wexford forwards today.
And coming forward now is Mitch Jordan. Standing his ground well is Noel Hickey. And Jackie Tyrrell. Wouldn't surprise me if the Kilkenny full back line got an awful lot of practice now in the next few minutes, because Wexford will be lifted and hoping for a better response to put a better finishing scoreline, much better than 2-18 to 1-8, as Owen Reid misses another and he has still to score. Likewise, Eddie Brennan hasn't scored so far. Here's Jackie Tyrrell, last year's triumphant captain. Out it comes as far as Cha Fitzpatrick. Back down towards Willie O'Dwyer. Hasn't got a score so far in the second half. Hasn't had too many chances. Good block that time by Malachi Travers.
And the thing about Willie Dwyer, I mean, 2 goals and 2 points in the first half, which was a contest, and yet he'll be struggling maybe for his place as Kilkenny go further, and that's the level of talent that they have.
Those practice matches must be something down in Nolan Park. Henry Shefflin was ready to strike. There was a chop down which the referee is quick to spot. Watch again here as Henry was picking it up, but it's something that happened just immediately before that. And Henry, as we watch Mitch Jordan,
he'll definitely get this, Ger.
How much are you putting on it? Okay, you got it right. Another for Henry Shefflin. Wonder what his golf handicap is like. Beautifully directed. James Ryle flapping at it in Wimbledon fashion. So free to Wexford. And once again, Stephen Nolan, who's now got a goal and 2 points. And another one for the Five Harriers player. Top scorer in the match for Wexford, that wouldn't be hard. 2-19 to 1-9. Puck out, delivered over there towards Henry Shefflin. Henry Shefflin and Martin Comerford so vital to this Kilkenny team, but they've stars everywhere and anywhere. That's Comerford. Any little loose ball at all, he'll seize on it very, very quickly. Pounces whenever there's the slightest error. Any little bit of indecision, he's there. Nobody able to keep a check on him. Might have just gone in off the post.
And a great ball through by Shefflin again, and Owen Larkin very unlucky not to bring it forward with him, and he'd have in for a goal chance. But as you said, Martin Comerford doing excellent poaching work there, and has got what, 4 or 5 points at this stage.
Well, he's got 5. In at full forward at this stage. Comerford rising up there with Keith Rossiter. Willie O'Dwyer ready to advance if it comes his way. Instead it's Richie Keogh. Here's Diarmuid Ling. Stephen Nolan contesting. John Tennyson. They're playing for places in the quarterfinals of the All-Ireland Championship at this stage. As champions of Leinster, they will be playing the runners-up of one of the groups. All those matches we had yesterday. Wexford will be playing the winners of one of the groups. There's Jackie Tyrrell, doesn't need a hurley. Controlled here by Eddie Brennan. Steals the march. And Eddie Brennan says, I haven't scored all day. Oh, Eddie, you still haven't scored. He'll be a little disappointed. And Kilkenny are going to make another change and dip into their reservoir. And Michael Rice is about to come on. Michael Rice comes on for Owen Reid. And Rice coming on to play in his sixth championship match for Kilkenny. UCC man. Not the best of luck enjoyed by Owen Reid this afternoon. This is taken down again by Diarmuid Ling. Out to Richie Keogh. Letting fly, and that's been the story of the day. They have been letting fly. No direction, no cohesion, no sense of link-up play with the inside forwards. I'm watching Darren Stamp up there at full forward just shake his head ruefully, as if to say, give us a decent ball. Here's Malachy Travers. This time aimed in the general direction of Rory Jacob. Bounces back towards the right half. Ryle trying to keep it away from Nolan. Stephen Nolan tried to make it his, kicking it. John Tennyson with that bright red helmet. Down towards Willie O'Dwyer, runs on instead. Deflected away by Keith Rossiter. Up here as far as a busy Mitch Jordan, who would love to have been in the starting 15. Going through, going beyond Tennyson, getting it on his right-hand side, but he's put it wide after all the good approach work. Dreadful sequence of misses now by Kilkenny, or by Wexford rather, and that's 13 wides they've had.
Well, a great run by Mitch Jordan there, but just didn't finish. But he has shown great wholehearted commitment since he's come in, Gerard, and you'll be wondering, you know, why maybe he wasn't at the start. But maybe when you're brought in as a sub there, sometimes, you know, you're out to prove like that you should have been selected in the first place, and that, you know, he has brought a bit of commitment to him, he's brought a bit of pace to him, but, you know, he's not going to make any great difference at this stage. But at the same time, maybe he's showing the selectors, look, I should be on for the rest of the year.
Michael Fennelly gives the midfield a lot of bulk. Big, strong fellow, very highly regarded. Keith Rossiter now. Big one up as far as Rory Jacob. Taking off. About to be confronted by Michael Kavanagh. Little ball slipped ahead, but well read by John Tennyson again. Again, simple, direct hurling, getting it way back down there. This time it's taken by Keith Rossiter. He's played most of the match at full back. All the way up it comes once again. Jackie Tyrrell, little hand pass away. Support from John Dalton. And Tyrrell drives it back down beyond Henry Shefflin, beyond Martin Comerford as well. This time it's Willie O'Dwyer. And that is another for the day. First of the second half for him. Just maintaining a very steady pattern of scoring this afternoon. His best return ever in the championship. 2 goals and 3 points now for Willie O'Dwyer from Mullinavat. And he's anxious for more. Really industrious player. Driven back out and further away. Up it comes towards Mitch Jordan, and the referee blows for a chop. Free to Wexford. What will Kilkenny take from this, Donald? We're now into the last virtually 7 minutes of the game. They've had an easy afternoon here in the Leinster final, irrespective of what is said afterwards. It's been easy for them.
It has been easy, Gerard, but you know, from the very start they were very professional. They hounded and harried Wexford, and they got the start they needed. And you know, they'll take confidence in the fact that, look, the training's going well, we're doing well in training, we're doing the things that we can naturally do well, and we keep playing this way. You know, we win by 14 or 15 points against teams like Wexford, and you know, their eyes will be on the first Sunday in September, and they'll feel like, you know, we're going in the right direction.
That's Donnacha Cody. He's coming on for Noel Hickey, which now means that 4 of the 6 backs have been replaced. When have you come across that in a championship match before? Usually it's the first guy off, usually I would say, is a corner forward. But today, Kilkenny, never the conventional, have changed things around at the back to give quality players a chance to get championship experience. Here's one of them, John Tennyson. Again, good support play here. John Dalton. Back out to Michael Fennelly, partly blocked by Diarmuid Ling, but still gets enough momentum on it. Keith Rossiter needs support, under a lot of pressure. Michael Rice was in there. Still Michael Rice, here he is. Everybody calling for it. And the man they call Ricey just wasn't able to link up with any of the others. He was going for his own score.
Well, in fairness, sure, Michael Rice would be more, more of a midfielder come centre forward, half forward. He's out of, I won't say he's out of his position, but he's playing right corner forward just to give him a run, I'd say, and that needed the ball back to the 20-metre line, 30-metre line that time.
This gets in here as far as Darren Stamp. He got 2 goals the last time Kilkenny played against them. That's a great shot by Quigley, and that's a great save by PJ Ryan. A little piece of excitement. It's gone for a 65. Stinging shot that time. When it came across here, it was hit instinctively by the number 9, Owen Quigley. Good goalkeeping.
Yeah, he didn't realise he had more time, I think. Quigley caught that and, drove a few yards further. Should have been a certain goal possibly, but good save from PJ Ryan.
So Stephen Nolan, the free taker, has got a goal and 4 points. Called into action again. And his personal tally at the end will look fairly impressive. Here he is with this 65, struck beautifully. Swaying ever gently in the breeze. This was the save a little while ago that produced that 65. And PJ Ryan is getting an awful lot of confidence in himself. He's been on the bench for a long time. Meanwhile, at the other end, as they've struck back into action once again, it's Sean Fitzpatrick who's got his 2nd point. When that ball came out to the man with the yellow helmet, only one thing on his mind: another score. Shaw again, batting it down. This time it's Diarmuid Ling, lobbing it in this time towards Darren Stamp. Everybody advancing on it. Oh, Stamp was holding back Donncha Cody that time, dragging him back down. And Pat O'Connor from famed Dahan in County Limerick had a very good view of it. Let's watch there, Darren Stamp hauling back the number 20.
Well, he may have felt that he got a little tug himself first. He brought it down himself first, but, again, giving away free in this position, all the pressure's gone out from Kilkenny.
Can't help feeling, Donald, the last time they met was 10 weeks ago in the league semi-final, and very little has changed.
Well, there's a complete lack of intensity in the game. Before the throw-in at the beginning, there was a bit of pushing and dragging, and we felt, hey, we're going to be in for a hot one here, and we have nothing yet. You'd see more intensity, Ger, really, in the opening of a field, on a Sunday night with 2 inter-county teams. This is just go through the motion sides for Kilkenny.
Well, this is an awful shame for Leinster hurling. They need a competitive final. Game need. Eddie Brennan back once again. Willie O'Dwyer competing there as Malachi Travers. Line ball will be to the Cats. Just over 2 minutes of the 70 still to play. I might add the word mercifully. Here's Eddie Brennan. Great cut. Enterprisingly, and he'll take the credit for that one. It goes off the stick of Damien Fitzhenry, but it's Eddie Brennan's point from the sideline. Lovely little cut up, wonderful execution. Keeper taking no chances. 223 to 111. That's a 15-point trouncing so far. Rory McCarthy, we haven't seen anything of Rory McCarthy in the second half. He was introduced at half-time to lift the spirits. Hasn't worked out, hasn't got the ball. That's Rice once again. Michael Rice gets the score. He's had 2 shots at the target.
And I think that's indicative of the Kilkenny play. When Henry Shefflin got the ball that time, Rice actually indicated where he wanted. He just pointed out, and Shefflin put it straight into his hurley. He had 2-3 yard space and straight over the bar, and that has been the, that sums up the game.
Comes to the centre again. Henry Shefflin trying to take it. It's Paul Roach instead. Swiftly in towards Darren Stamp, competing there with Donncha Cody. Not alone is Donncha Cody's dad a great ex-hurler, but his mother also a terrific camogie player. Here's Paul Roach. So for John Myler and for the selectors, Willie Sunderland and Nick Byrne, It's a case of back to the drawing board. What does the fellow who invented the drawing board do when he's had a bad day at the office? I'd love to know that one.
Well, John Myler will be very disappointed, Ger, because I know him from old. You know, he's a wholehearted player when he played, and you know, he'd be very disappointed with this display.
Rory Jacob, we're into, or nearly into, the 1 minute of stoppage time, and he's got another impossible point from near the end line. They have the skills, we know that. Did they have the belief that they could really and truly beat Kilkenny this afternoon? We know they made loads and loads of mistakes, and they conceded those 2 crucial goals inside the first 12 minutes, and that was the platform from which Kilkenny built. But there were so many errors, so many passing errors, shooting errors. Kilkenny were clinical, ruthless, determined, and brilliantly skillful as always, and they're not finished yet. And that one is stopped on the line this time. Michael Rice's shot, saved by Damien Fitzhenry. They're all converging on him, but the referee's going to blow the whistle. Michael Rice thought he'd got himself a goal here. It was a difficult one for Damien Fitzhenry. Went between the legs, the ankles, the thighs, and resourcefully he kept it out.
Yeah, and a little bit of charity there from Pat O'Connor. Maybe that should have been a free in, but you know, I mean, at this stage of the game, I mean, an added minute is torture for Wexford, and he does the right thing.
No need for the added minute, because Kilkenny are once again the Leinster champions. Absolutely deserving champions. A 15-point rout. Wexford completely beaten, downcast. For poor John Myler and the rest, it's a case of getting it together now with the qualifiers, not the qualifiers, rather the quarterfinals in their case. Fortunate to avoid those qualifiers of the 3-match series. They're straight to the quarterfinals, so are Kilkenny, but Kilkenny will take with them the memory of a very, very good performance on their part. They may never have been quite at full throttle. They never needed to be. Let's go down and get some reaction now from the team manager himself, talking to Ivan Nicolin.
Thanks very much, Chair. Brian Cody, congratulations, a 9th title in 10 seasons. But double scores, it was easy in the end. Were you challenged at all out there?
Certainly we were challenged, yeah. I mean, the whole thing of coming out and playing a game is a challenge, obviously. You know, the preparation is there, and you've got to get out there and you've got to perform. Again, it was nice to get an early goal, I suppose, you know, and that's always a bit of a tonic, and it helped us along the way. But, you know, the scoreboard is one thing always, but I mean, the challenge there the whole time. We're happy with it. We're happy with the win, and we're reasonably happy with the performance as well.
You spoke there about preparation. What about the preparation for the quarter-finals now? Does that match serve as good preparation for what could be another more challenging match in the next round?
Absolutely, it certainly will. It certainly is the kind of preparation we needed. You know, the rivalry is there between Kilkenny and Wexford. I mean, we got the win, certainly, and we won reasonably well on the day. But I mean, it's 3 weeks to the quarter-final now. We'll get back and we'll prepare for that.
Okay, Brian, thanks very much indeed. Back to you, Gerard.
Well, Brian Cody has done it once again. What a terrific manager he is. And now Liam O'Neill about to make the presentation. Full-time score, it's Kilkenny 2 goals and 24 points. Wexford 1 goal and 12.
Big to Sponges, Untuk, Amaniafta going o Kilkenny in you. Agus Tres Liam o Creelo, Asan Bua, a Viaco in you. Then I'm called Ron, the Loch Gorman, Agus Tasulagan to make Clehead Nis Farako, Sakate Clehead, about the Canish Aaron. While I'm Wicks the ball is Red Tor, Agus Namweir, Agus Gocton the Corrigling, and Clehead Shaw, a Ragdoll in you. Agus Isha Corja. Iloher Uchter on the Heron, T-shirt the Heron, Michael Whelan O'Guinness, is privileged as an Ordom, Kern Bob O'Keefe, Avrona, Arena Mana, Henry Shefflin, Cogordicus Henry, Cogordicus Kilkenny.
Some things just never change. A Kilkenny captain receiving a trophy. It's the Bob O'Keefe Cup, and Henry Shefflin lifts it aloft, and Kilkenny are the Leinster champions once again.
Tá nád orm an chóirsáid lecha as fear of Kilkenny. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, lads. I suppose, first of all, I'd just like to thank our sponsors, Glanbia and Avonmore. They've been great supporters over the years, and they've supplied us with that we wanted, so thanks very much to them. I suppose I must also thank the Kilkenny supporters who came out today, and also the Wexford supporters. It's great to hear you with us here today and to stay on for the presentation. So thanks very much for travelling up today. I suppose I'd like to thank the group of players. I suppose the season's only starting for us, please God, but you put in a great effort over the last few years, and I'm absolutely delighted to be representing you here today. So thanks very much for the effort you put in, lads, so far. I'd also like to thank our backroom staff, dietitians, physios, rocker, and everyone else that goes with it. Thanks very much for all the work. And I suppose to Martin Fogarty and Mick Dempsey, and I suppose our manager Brian Cody, a special thanks for all the work over the years again. I suppose lastly to Wexford, I suppose we both know today, lads, it wasn't a great game, and if we're to go any further in this championship, both teams, we need to up our performance looking at the Munster Championship so far. But I, on behalf of Kilkenny, would like to wish Wexford the best luck in the championship for the coming months ahead, and I'd like to give 3 cheers to Wexford. Hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Thanks very much.
So, for the record, Kilkenny have won the title for the 64th time. That was a lovely speech by Henry Shefflin. Nothing gloating, wishing well for Kilkenny, for Wexford as well. Both teams advance, of course, to the quarterfinals, but it is Kilkenny who are the champions. Michael.